I want to be in 5 years. That's an assignment for all of us here. What do I want to be in 5 years? I am in first level manager now. In 5 years, I want to be a group manager, which is possible. That is what you want. Now you put it down. So when you put it down, then your thinking and your actions will revolve around that which you are choosing for yourself. And writing it out also takes you to a higher level of forcing you to produce more details and engage in brainstorming. Writing it down also makes it measurable. Okay? They say whatever gets measured gets completed and faster. So once you are able to put it down in black and white, it makes it possible for you to be able to measure your accomplishment. Okay? You evaluate yourself regularly and now be able to see how far you have been able to accomplish what you have set out for yourself. And that makes it faster for you to accomplish your goal. So planning also enables you to take the necessary action step. That is, seeing through to completion the necessary steps of the goals, but through what? It will have to be through discipline and perseverance. That is where the problem is. Because if you want to move from point A to point B, it requires a lot of sacrifice from you. And that is that sacrifice that most people are not ready and willing to take. And the moment you are not willing to take that, then you will remain where you are. No matter whatever you are putting in paper, no matter what you are thinking, if you are not prepared, okay, to inconvenience yourself, then you won't be able to achieve your goal. I'll tell you about maybe about let's say about 2005. That's about 8 years ago. I am in the academics. I'm a lecturer. I got in 1999 as an assistant lecturer. But I know that to get to the peak of that career, I need to be a professor. And to be a professor is not something you can achieve. Even throughout their career life, some people are not able to achieve it. Some people are not able to achieve it. So I look at myself, what do I need to become a professor? First, I must get my PhD, my doctoral degree. Then I must publish. So myself and some other colleagues, a brother and a teacher, who will also be within this money, we now made that decision to go to a university at Abeokuta to get our doctorate. There are so many challenges. We were given study leave to pursue our study, but the new HOD that came in there after said he's sorry that he won't be able to release us because going will create a vacuum in the department. So we are now shuttling between Unilag and UNAB. And for those of us from Abeokuta, those of us who have been there, we know it's not a journey that you can make within Lagos. So we're talking about several hundreds of kilometers. In fact, there are so many dangers. There was a day I was driving and my colleague was sitting beside me, he was reading paper, and I didn't do stuff. It was just a sound of a horn from somewhere that woke me up, and I started smiling. And I told him, "You know what has happened?" I said, "No." I said, "Do you know I've just do stuff?" And you're talking about this, not an express. It's just a, what do you call it, a dual carriage. It's not a dual carriage, it's a single way. A one way, a single lane. So I already left my own lane and I was facing those who were coming this way. But Allah was so merciful. That same day, we were now at the express road. I already do stuff again, and I ran out of the road. But I was still able to manage to come to the road again. So the risks were so numerous. But yet, after so many years, we could not achieve our goal. We were victimized by that person who said we should come back. He said we should not go on that study completely. Because anyway, partly because we belong to the same religion, the same faith. So there are so many problems. We now start down again. What is the next step? The next step is to pursue our PhD. It's a task that you must accomplish. There is no any other explanation to it, no any other result. It is only accomplishment. So we decided to go to the United Kingdom. There we know that for us to be able to achieve that, we need several millions of naira, and yet we do not have 1 million naira. So we embarked on our journey. But I can tell you that it was not how will I say? Did I say palatable? I think that I want a word that will capture it.
It was rough.
Well, rough. Not rosy. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. You see, it is better experience than imagining. Because what that means is that I have to school and work at the same time. And you're talking about in a country where you're not allowed to do more than 20 hours of work in a week. So how do you go about that? And by today, we were able to accomplish that goal. So we had to inconvenience ourselves. At the same time, our family here in Nigeria must not suffer. In fact, at that time, everybody in my house was schooling, was receiving one form of education or the other. I was doing my master. My wife was about completing her first degree, and I said, look, you're not stopping there, you must do your master. And she embarked on that too. And all my kids, okay, maybe about 2 or 3 of them, we were in Vanguard. The education system must not stop. Okay? So you must be prepared to inconvenience yourself to be able to move from point A to point B. But now if you look back at all those inconveniences, I am happy that I've taken that step. Because today, I am on the path towards getting to the peak of my career. Yes, coming back, we moved from lecturer 2 to lecturer 1 to senior lecturer. Now what happened was that those that we met at the department, those that were above us, we are not we are now at par with them. Some we are above them. Such that in the department, it's only the 2 of us that were the leaders in that unit of the department. It was because we were prepared to take that step, to inconvenience ourselves, to be able to get to where we wanted to be. So we need to recognize that it's a natural tendency that human beings we do not want inconveniences. Okay? We don't want inconveniences. We want to be where things are rosy, but life is not like that. If that's what you want, then you won't be able to accomplish anything. Nothing comes easy in life. And you can see right from the moment you have gone into this world, it is all about struggle. It is true. In fact, right from when you were conceived, look at how many millions of sperms that are contained in one ejaculation. Millions of sperm. So how many will fertilize the ovum? 1. So you are that 1. By being alive today, it means you are that 1 that has fertilized that ovum. That's its first struggle. And then look at the period in the womb. What your mother goes through. Some will be successful. If you are successful, we are successful today. That's why we are here. But those that were not successful, what happened to them? They are no longer in this world. Before they are giving birth to, something happens to the pregnancy. So you can see that life is all about struggle. And you must be prepared to take that step. You must be ready to do uncomfortable things. Say successful people are just normal people who are prepared to do the uncomfortable things that most people won't do. Okay? So what are the things that affect, the factors that affect career development? The first thing is that your inability to socialize with people outside your circle. Okay? And that is one of the problems of we Muslims. We only want to interact with Muslims. We only want to interact with members of TMC. We should not be so. Okay? It is an impediment towards career development. Because what that saying means is that the opportunities that you could achieve, you could get from those people, you won't get them. Your opportunities will only be limited to those that you associate with. Whereas you have been sent to the entire mankind. So you must not limit your association. You must be able to socialize. And that requires you looking at yourself inwardly. Am I an extrovert or an introvert? Okay, you are an introvert. Then you look at how you can manage yourself that you'll be able to accomplish and socialize with people. Extroverts, they are very good at making friends. Whenever they have you notice them, easily they talk, they make friends with people, they ask about their welfare. But introvert people, they are always quiet. So they reserve people, but you can improve yourself. That's why. Okay. There are, of course, advantages of being an introvert as well. But you must be able to assess yourself and see what you need to do to improve yourself. Because as a guy, you must learn to be extrovert. Okay? Or if you are not extrovert, you won't be able to achieve the task of the diet. Okay? Then you must be able to identify knowledge, abilities, and transferable skills developed by your degree. Okay? So, part of the factors that affect career development, lack of necessary working tools, what it requires for you to get to where you want to get to, you do not have the tools for it. Okay, you are a farmer, and all that you are using to farm is just cutlasses, hoes. Okay, can you compare with somebody who is using a mechanized farming? No. You cannot be. So you must get the right tools, the right necessary working tools. The absence of skills in new technologies. Knowledge is not static. It is always changing. It is dynamic. So if you are static in your knowledge, what does it say is that it is irrelevant. So you must constantly update yourself. You must be on top of what is happening in your industry. What are the things happening? Okay? And how do you acquire knowledge about those things that are happening? That's how you can be on top of your peers. That's how you can be where you will be and your counterparts will not be there. Okay? The lack of exposure and currency in social media and other developments. I have less than 5 minutes. So what are the ways out? So just like I've said earlier on, you must create what we call a self-awareness. Ask yourself, who am I? What do I want and need? Who am I? Yes, I'm a Muslim, I'm a dyer, I'm a consultant, neurosurgeon, I'm a lawyer, I'm a risk manager, I'm an academic. Okay? So you must be able first to identify who you are. Then what do I want and need? You must be able to establish that too. And what am I capable of achieving? You need to do a critical assessment of yourself. And for you to be able to do that, you apply what we call in strategic management SWOT analysis, which is an acronym for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Okay? You look at yourself. What are the things I'm good at doing? Okay? And you look at yourself again. What are my weaknesses? So the first two, they are internal. They are the things you have to look inwardly. Okay? You assess yourself. Níbo làwọn ibi tí mo kù sí? Kí làwọn tí mo ní àjẹsára? Àti kí làwọn kan tó ṣe pé ó jẹ́ àbùjẹkù mi? So àwọn yẹn agbọ́dọ̀ òmùra kò sẹ́yìn tó ń báyìí òun fúnra rẹ̀ ló máa òun fúnra rẹ̀. Then the other two, they are external. The opportunities are there, outside they are there. But if you do not have what it requires to gain that opportunity, you will not be able to achieve it. Listen to what Peter Drucker says. He said that in the absence of clearly defined goals, no, that's not it. He said we should never box ourselves into a situation where if an unplanned opportunity arises, we will be poorly placed to take advantage of it. Opportunity sometimes comes once in a lifetime. But if you do not have what it requires for you to grab that opportunity, you just see that opportunity just ebbing away, just going away. It might have been an opportunity that could have turned your entire life around. Okay? Those that are millionaires today, it was just one opportunity that they seized, and everything just started falling in place. So if you do not have what it requires for you to be able to grab that opportunity, I'm afraid you won't be able to achieve anything. Okay? So, then the threats are there. You must be able to understand what are the threats in the environment that will prevent you from achieving your goals and objectives. And then the question is, how do I interact with others and with my environment? So in doing that, you identify knowledge, abilities, and transferable skills developed by your degree, what you have already with your degree, and then you identify personal skill and how this can be deployed, what you can do yourself. You see, that's what I've been telling my students. You see, sometimes what you see yourself doing when you go outside the university is different from what you have learned in the school. You have learned one thing in the school, but in the outside there, you'll be doing something else. Your employers are not interested in the knowledge that you can recite. What they are interested in is the knowledge that you can apply. Okay, so in the process of you acquiring your education, there are other skills that you must have developed. Okay, these are very crucial for your career success in life. So identify strengths and weaknesses and areas that require further development. Then develop a self-reflective stance to work and other activities. That's what we don't do. Whereas that is one of the best way of learning, to reflect. You see, most of the time we do things without reflecting, because you need to know, what have I done today? That's part of, and Islam teaches us that, okay, to reflect on our actions. And as I say, Umar will never go to sleep until he has done what? A self-assessment, a self-reflection. What have I done right and what have I not done right today? So, if you have gone through an experience, you need to sit back and reflect on what have I acquired. Because you didn't just do it just for doing sake. You did it for a purpose. So you need to reflect on the process of doing it and what you've been able to achieve. See, that was one thing that cost me almost a year in my doctoral program. When I was doing my Viva, I was asked that question: what would you have done differently? I said, done differently again. I've done the perfect job, I've done the right thing, because that's what I have been told by somebody who took me through what Viva means. I said, no, I've done it right. I said, okay. Then I said there are some epistemic concern in my doctoral thesis that I need to go back and redo it. And that reflection means you have to reflect on the course of action you have taken, the methodology you have chosen, okay, and the implications of those methodologies, because they have implications. It's like saying I want to go to Ibadan, and I said the only way that you can get to Ibadan is through Ibadan Expressway. Is that correct? No. You could get to Ibadan by going through Abeokuta. You could get to Ibadan going through Ajah, Epe, Ijebu. You can get to Ibadan. Okay. So if I now say by going to Ibadan from Lagos to Ibadan through Ibadan Express Road, and that if you want to get there, these are the things that will happen. And I said that is the only knowledge about how to get to Ibadan. That will be wrong. So reflection means looking at the course of action you have taken and the implications of that course of actions. What you have done and what you have left undone. Okay? That cost me almost a year of having to go and rewrite my thesis. So, action planning. You plan a course of action which addresses where you are now, where do you want to be, and how do you get there, which is part of what you have talked about in career development. Then you implement that action by organizing your time effectively, because that's one thing most of us have not been able to manage well. And we know that, though the Westerners or to others, they will say time is money. But we Muslims, we know that it is much more than that. To us, time is what? It's life. Because the tick like this. In fact, what that is saying is you are getting closer to your grave. That tick is not coming back again. It's gone. It's like putting a cube, an ice cube on the table. It's just a matter of time before it does what? It dissolves, it melts. And that's just us. We are just like that ice cube. So with that tick, we are melting by second, by minutes, by hour, by months, by year. We are all ebbing away. We are all dissolving. We are all dying. So we are dying gradually. So death is what? It's a process. So you identify steps needed to reach the goal, preparing contingency plans, and so on and so forth. Then you monitor and evaluate progress against specific objectives. Okay? So one thing I did not remember to mention in the goal, your career development goal, is that you must make it smart. And we also know what smart means. I mean, it must be what? Specific. It must be measurable. It must be achievable. And it must be realistic. And it must be time-bound. Okay? So, if you have done it that way, you'll be able to measure what progress have I made. Just like myself, I look at myself now. Between that period I was talking about, 2000, 2001, and now, I can see this is the progress I've made. Okay? And of course, without that progress, I wouldn't have been where I am today. About 2 years ago, when it was time for the faculty to choose a sub-dean, if I didn't get what it requires to be, I wouldn't have been. In fact, there are no others that met that condition. It's like maybe if you had done it before, you can't do it again. So that was why I was able to achieve that. And of course, the purpose was to see how I can help Islam with that which I have achieved, and which should be what is uppermost in the mind of all of us. So you develop networks of contacts. Okay? Don't restrain yourself to your organization. Okay? You have to move, you have to socialize with people. Go beyond the immediate environment. Okay? And that is the essence for attending workshops, seminars, and conferences. Okay, for some of us, when we go on international conferences, it is to establish networks. In fact, sometimes you deliberately join some social networks so that you'll be able to, acquaint yourself with the developments in your field, in your choosing career. Okay? And because through your networks, you get regular informations, updated informations about what are happening in your area. Then you develop and maintain a support network for advice and information, which is all still under networking. So I know I've not been able to do much. I couldn't do better than this. There's no doubt about it. So I can only just say, forgive me for the shortcomings that are quite inherent in this presentation. Okay? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive the speaker and the listeners.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We say Jazakumullah khairan to our doctor. He has shown a very high sense of humility by actually not giving so much thought to what he has done, but without denying the fact that, we will not deny the fact that he has done a human stuff. So we really want to thank him for this wonderful presentation that he has given us on how to develop our career as leaders and members of the Muslim Congress as well. Now we will understand that the trust of leadership is not something we will take with kid love, and that also that as potential leaders or as leader proper, that we can actually develop our skills, which actually is the major reason why this workshop is considered very, very key, and that is why it holds every year. So we have been giving some of the ways out of getting out of some of the challenges that we come faced with in